And now it gives me great honor to bring up Mayor Katrina Foley and give you a welcome to the city of Costa Mesa.
Thank you, Robert. Welcome to Costa Mesa. It's an honor for us to be the host city for not only the Heroes Hall, but the fairgrounds. It's a special place for us during fair time. We love the fair. We also are so honored to be able to be the host city for this amazing new museum piece that's coming. And so it's really a pleasure for me to welcome all of you here today. I'm really honored to serve as the mayor of Costa Mesa and to support our veterans and to make sure that our students that come through here and come through the Heroes Hall learn about the history of what our veterans have done and their sacrifices. And I want to give a shout out to two veterans that I know that are here today from Costa Mesa. Arliss Reynolds' dad here is one of our veterans from the Marines. And our own city council member, Andrea Marr, is a Navy veteran. So it's very important. My brother retired from the Army in 2018 after 23 years of service. And so I know the struggle, and I know how important it is for us to continue to tell the stories. And as my good friend Nick always says, freedom isn't free, and we have to make sure that every generation remembers that so that we will continue to support our veterans. So thank you all for being here, and thanks for coming to Costa Mesa. Enjoy the fair if you get to stay around. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Okay, I want to give one recognition to Director Natalie Rubalcaba, who just got here and joined us. Thank you. Also, I would like to welcome members of the Heroes Hall Veterans Foundation Board of Directors, starting with President Nick Bernardino, Vice President Doug LaBelle, and Directors Sandra Cervantes, Karina Frank Panton, Bobby McDonald, Steve Spriggs, Leslie Neeby, and Kathy Yott. There are many special guests here today that were instrumental in first bringing the A-4M Skyhawk to the Santa Ana Civic Center back in 2008 and are working with us on our behalf now to move the Skyhawk to Heroes Hall. We thank you all for being here. Now it's my honor to introduce today's MC. This Emmy and Golden Mike Award winner began his broadcasting career at the age of 14 in his hometown of Texarkana, Arkansas. He arrived in Southern California in 1958 as a member of the U.S. Marine Corps, and the chance to play football at Santa Ana motivated him to stay here in Orange County. Ed joined KTLA in the late 1960s as an announcer and later as a sportscaster in 1975. He then became member of KABC's Eyewitness News team until 1986. In mid-86, Ed Arnold returned to KTLA, where he remained until 1999. Ed carries a long list of achievements, but most admirable is his involvement in the Southern California community and his support for veterans. So please, let's give a warm round of applause to our MC, Mr. Ed Arnold.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you. Robert, thank you very much. Nick, always good to see you. Bobby Mack. You're talking about trouble. These guys are more trouble than any two that I think I've ever met, and I've met a lot of people in my day. If there's anybody we did not introduce, would you raise your hand so we can applaud you? Sherry, our treasurer, Sherry Friedman, did not get introduced. Sherry, nice to have you here. Did anybody else did we miss? It's a big honor to be here. It was kind of mixed emotions when we first found that we were going to be moving the A4 from where it's been located since it was installed 11 years ago. It's a remarkable aircraft, and you look at what's going to happen here, and I see the increase in number of people that are going to be able to see this because of the fair. I see the school kids coming out here finding out more about it rather than those who don't respect it, and that's been shown too often and for too long where it's located currently. El Toro and Tustin, just so you'll know, this is for both. This is for any of the Marines that served in Orange County. There's so many that served and made their homes here. I happen to be one of them, and I can go down a list of people that did. And it's amazing to me to see what's happened. When word got out that it was going to come to an end, they were going to be closing the bases because of the vote of the folks in Washington, D.C., Dan Mccoy, who was with the Santa Ana Police Department, in 10 years he served in the Marine Reserves, and he had a plan. He wanted to do something that people would remember, those who had served, and remember these bases. Keep in mind that El Toro was built in 1942 when it was started and occupied until 99 when it was closed, and we have the commanding officer that I'll introduce shortly that was the one who closed the doors for us. He didn't like that, but that was his assignment. And the Marine Corps Air Facility, the same thing, started about the same time, started for the blimps and became the helicopters, and you saw what happened. Now then, it's a bunch of homes, and there's going to be some schools, and there's some other things that are taking place. But in 1998, when Dan Mccoy felt the need to do this, he said that he wanted to find a way that they would remember both. And I think he succeeded in that. I mean, you try to mount a helicopter, and it's a little more difficult. And what he did is he wanted an attacked aircraft, one that was small, and the one that he came up with, you can see, it happens to be the A-4. This is a remarkable aircraft. Those that served in Vietnam, whether you be in the Army, whether you be in the Marines, I think in the Navy and all the other different military, you had a taste of that particular aircraft. And this particular one he tracked down was in the desert. It's actually in storage, and he made contact with the U.S. Navy and was able to get the thing on assignment. It was loaned to us. It was not given to us. And the big question came once the okay was, where is it going to be put and how much is going to be costing? The initial amount of money was not real, frankly, and I'll mention that in just a couple of moments. But the location, there was the county seat was something that he thought would be very good. We also asked the folks at El Toro. We thought that would be a natural place, but they had no interest in it. It was not an easy situation initially for some reason, but because of his diligence and because of the support he had, he was able to make some things happen. But the thing that was tough is a big challenge hit just about 3 years or so into the planning, because in 2001, Dan was diagnosed with brain cancer, and 8 months later, he was gone. Fortunately, we had a great leader in place, Steve Mugg, who is the last commanding officer at El Toro and happens to be a member of the committee that got this thing started. I would like for you to stand. I'll introduce some other in a minute, but right now I'd like for you to stand because you made it happen, my friend. Under the leadership of Captain Mugg, Colonel Mugg, we were able to make things happen. He was able to bring some other people along. Some of the people continue that were friends of Dan, and we got great inspiration. Dan's secretary at the Santa Ana Police Department, Ann Gallegos, was just a godsend. When he got ill and when we knew he was going to be passing, she's the one that came forward and made sure that we stayed on our toes. And she teamed up with one of our members, Colonel Eleanor Wilson, and the two of them, I think Steve and I both got a taste of how good they really are. But when we looked at the cash flow that was coming in, it was not that much. We thought people would just come up with the money with no problem. It didn't work that way. So we went out to try to hustle anything that we could. And we were able to do that because of thanks of a number of people. But the initial plans called for $300,000. And fortunately, with the in-kind donations and that, we were able to meet our obligations. The committee got the okay for the Civic Center. The A-4 was moved. Initially, it had been moved from the desert to Chino so it could be watched by some wonderful volunteers who kept it in shape. And it was moved to where the location is presently at Civic Center. Navy Reserve Commander Mike Marino and his architectural firm and business friends took care of required documents and permits. And think about those when you're dealing with mounting an aircraft on a pedestal at Civic Center. And it's amazing that it was able to be done. And Commander Marino, who actually was called to active duty during the time we were doing this, made it happen. There were a lot of obstacles along the way, but I think all of us on the committee were determined to make Dan's dream a reality, and you can see what happened. And to see it come here where it's going to be seen by so many more people, it's absolutely amazing. We looked at trying to get money from a number of folks. We looked all over the place. I mean, we got veterans groups, we got private donations. We went to every city council in the county. We were able to get some money from them, but getting all of the money was not going to happen. But as a result, we were able to get some in-kind donations, and that's what made it happen. To get the thing mounted was going to take more money than we thought, and with the cooperation of Commander Marino, who, again, he is one unbelievable individual. And Bob Hoxie, who's a dear friend of mine who happens to own Hoxie Construction Company, and he actually volunteered to get that thing mounted. And think about mounting an aircraft from the street over to the Civic Center and get it done as quickly as they did was absolutely unbelievable. And finally, in 2008, 6 years after the passing of Dan, 10 years after his dream began, it happened. It was dedication. And now it's going to have a brand new home, and we're thrilled that it's going to be right here at this beautiful spot where we're standing at this point. A number of people that got involved, there's several here that I'm going to introduce, and if I miss somebody, I'm sorry, but these are people that help more than I can explain. One is Colonel Mugg, as I mentioned. General Ken Weir, I don't know if Ken is made, he is here. Ken, would you stand, please? Marine Captain Richard Bertea. The man who flew this aircraft and is with us today, Colonel Norman Marshall. And I didn't sneak him in, so I don't know if he made it or not, but he was supposed to be here. Bob Hoxie, who did the good hard work with Mike Marino. But a nice round of applause for these people, because we're so grateful for what they've done. Now, that's just a brief history. There's so much more we could go into, and it's amazing that we were able to get this aircraft. When you think about it being in the desert the way it was and what it is now, and then look at what it's going to be very soon. We're going to give you the date. I won't tip the date off because I think that's going to be taken care of by Ken, but it's coming sooner than we might think. And now it's time to hear about the incredible team that's moving it from the Civic Center to Heroes Hall. And I look back and see that beautiful building, Nick, you and Bobby and you guys had busted your butt to get it done. It's amazing. But to give us the details now, the Orange County Fair and Events Center Vice President of Operations, Ken Carnes.
Thank you, Ed. Good afternoon, everyone. It is thrilling and absolutely my pleasure to be a part of this amazing project. When we were first contacted about the possibility of relocating the A-4M Skyhawk to Heroes Hall, you can just imagine how excited our board of directors and staff were, and how many questions we all had about how to make it happen. Well, what made it easier was the unanimous approval by the OC Fair and Event Center Board of Directors, who voted to fund and support this project. It was then our pleasure to work with Sal Viramontes. Sal, where are you? From the County of Orange to develop the MOU between the county and the OC Fair and Event Center. The County Board of Supervisors unanimously approved the MOU, and we knew the project would become a reality. Thank you for all your support. We're very excited to work on this project with our contractor, John Hundley. Where's John? John's right over here. John is president and owner of JRH Construction, and by the way, that company was responsible for bringing Heroes Hall to life. Thank you, John. Also on the project, representing the state, from the California Construction Authority, our project manager, Sean Slay. And our in-house team, who have been instrumental on this project, Michelle Richards, Vice President of Business Development, Jerry Eldridge, Director of Facilities, Jason Jacobson, our Director of Production and Technology. Where's Jason? Way in the back. Things will start moving very quickly immediately following the close of the 2019 OC Fair this Sunday, with construction anticipated to start on Monday morning. The Skyhawk must be moved from county facilities by the end of September, when it will be transported across the county to Heroes Hall. We will hope you will all be back on November 9th for our Veterans Day celebration, when we will unveil and dedicate the new A-4M Skyhawk exhibit at Heroes Hall right here at the OC Fair and Event Center. Thank you, everyone.
Ken, thank you very much. And oh, is it going to be beautiful flying so high. You know, it's funny, when they decided they wanted to get this move to take place, there's only one person I could think of in this entire county could set things in motion the way he did. And he happens to be a Marine veteran. And when I refer to a dynamic duo, he and Bobby McDonald, the two of them, what they've done for veterans in this county is not measurable. It just couldn't happen because they're that incredible. Nick is a former Orange County Fair board member, former general manager of the Orange County Employees Association, a legendary Marine Corps veteran, tireless advocate for veterans, the current president of the Heroes Hall Veterans Foundation, the one, the only, Nick Berardino.
All right, start the 2-minute clock. Yeah, first of all, oh, shoot. You know, it used to be easy. You just put it on notes. Now they say you got to put it on this. I can't open it. Thank you all very, very much for being here. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors. We could not have done this without the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors, under the leadership of the board, our great friends that are here today, Michelle and Andrew, gave us $206,000 to move this. So give them a big round of applause. $206,000. The Fair Board. You know, the Fair Board, I came to the Fair Board and said, look, we want this, and we had, hey, $100,000 will do it. Turns out the project, we wanted it better and better and better, and thanks to the Fair Board and these gracious people that have made all this happen, true heroes, they donated $456,000 to make this happen. Give them a big round of applause. The Heroes Hall Foundation, these people work tirelessly. All of us know how tough it is to raise money in Orange County. Good luck, man. It's a tough slug. But let me tell you, they work endlessly to do it. Thank all of you. The fair staff. This staff is and I'll tell you, and the museum staff. This is the best museum staff in the country. And that's a fact. That's not hyperbole. That is a fact. And the fair staff, led by Michelle Richards and her team, Joan Hamill. And where's Carol Singleton? She's here. These people are magical of what they do. Also, I want to thank the county CEO and Saul. I called the CEO of Frank Kim. I said, you got to promote Saul Viramontes. Hearing that from me is like a medal from Khrushchev. Your career's over, brother. But, hey, thank you very much. Renee Ramirez from the county, who is the Veterans Coordinator. Renee did so much. The city of Costa Mesa, who have been, they've put up $50,000 to do all this over the years to make this part. So thank you so much. And a very, very special, and I don't know if Sean Nelson is here yet, but Sean, who's now the assistant DA, got to get along with Sean now. We didn't have to when he's on the board. Assistant DA, my suggestion is get along with him. And well, at least for me, I got to get along with the DAs. He did $50,000 too. Michelle Steele, who's here, so you know the people that have worked. Michelle did our first fundraiser. And she, before we even opened, $35,000. And a special thank you to the Orange County Employees Association. Let me tell you, without them, honestly, nothing would happen. They are the foundation of the foundation. They donate so much time, so much effort. Without them and their commitment to veterans, none of this would ever happen. A big thank you and a shout out, though. I'm going to use this for Bill Cook, who's out there, who's leading the fight on the cemetery, which has become very difficult. I won't get political. But anybody gets in our way from this point forward, get the hell out. We're coming. Just that simple. Get out of the way. Thank you, Bill. So I want to just quickly say about this jet and about the A-4 Skyhawk and what it means to me. In 1968, I was a Marine machine gunner, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines, Special Landing Forces. I know, I look like the boat now. So we had landed, Special Landing Forces does helicopter and amphibious insertions when Marine units are being overrun, overtaken, or in trouble. So we landed, we were taking a village next to the Quang Tri River. We'd moved up on the village, got caught in an open spot. We were pinned down. We could not move. We could not move. The enemy was firing out of apertures this big. The only thing that we could do at that point was saying, you know, there was 2 things we could do. We could spread our feet 12 inches apart, put our heads between our legs as far as we go and kiss our ass goodbye, or call in air. And we called in air, and that's what this close air support does. We called in the air. It came in. It roared in. We had lost so many people, we weren't even able to get medevacs down. We had to carry our wounded. Had to carry our wounded in because we couldn't get the medevacs down. Close air support came in. They provided us with the support necessary. Blew it. We were calling directly to the pilot, saying to the pilot, we got to take out that hooch with the red roof. And they were able to do it. They blew up opening for us. We got through. And while we lost a lot of men that day, we're alive because of that. And so to all the pilots that are here that flew it, and to everybody, thank you very much. And I want to say there's no better place, because this plane, as you can see, will lead its way, will lead that museum into the sky. Into the sky, to where the brave men and women who have served this country will look to that sky and welcome it, and welcome everything and all the sacrifices all of us done and all of you have done to make this the greatest country on earth. So God bless all of you, and God bless America. I want to call up real quick, and I want to say, don't forget to come November 9th, where Tom Clark, who is here, is going to be entered into the Walk of Honor for his Distinguished Flying Cross heroism. But I want to introduce for a very quick 2-minute update on what that aircraft can do. One of the pilots that flew that aircraft, who's here to talk a little bit quickly about what that aircraft is and what its capability. My friend Kevin Donahue.
Thank you, Nick. Hi, my name is Kevin Donahue. I'll just tell you a little bit about this Skyhawk. This A-4 is one of about 3,000 A-4s that were made by Douglas Aircraft up the road in Long Beach between 1954 and 1979. This particular model is an A-4M, was the final, most advanced, and most powerful A-4 Douglas produced. This exact jet probably first took to the skies in the bicentennial year of 1976. Its entire career was spent as a West Coast jet at El Toro. Anybody been stationed at El Toro? Right. It was with squadrons VMA 211, the Avengers, which I must point out, Colonel Norm Marshall was the CO of 211. This was his airplane when he was the CO, right here. It was also with VMA 214 Black Sheep and VMA 311, which was where I flew it, the Tomcats in the early 80s. The primary mission, as Nick alluded to, was close air support, to provide ground support for the young Marine on the ground. The young Marine on the ground with boots on the ground carrying a rifle. Everybody in the Marine Corps works for that person, the guy on the ground with the rifle. The ordnance this could range from high explosive bombs, forward firing rockets, 20 millimeter cannon, napalm, precision guided munitions, air to air missiles, and even nuclear weapons. The cockpit of the A-4 was very small. It was a tight aircraft. If I would sit in the aircraft and hold my arms like this, they'd be outside the airplane. It was very nimble, it was very maneuverable. It had a roll rate 720 degrees in 1 second, which means if you threw the stick over, you'd do 2 aileron rolls before you could count 1 potato. In summation, I know I only have 2 minutes, Nick. In summation, being single in my 20s, flying tactical jets, blowing stuff up with a great group of guys who'd become my lifelong friends was simply glorious. A4 is forever, Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. You're the best. You know that. Colonel, thank you very much. And again, for those, if you didn't see Colonel Marshall when he stood up a while ago, I'll have him stand again. Colonel, would you stand up again, please, so they can see you? I won't tell them what Colonel Mugg told me about some of your flying, but that's between you guys, okay? Yeah, Colonel, I see the look you've got. All right, you know, you talk about projects being partnerships and all, and it's an incredible group working on this. And Kathy, by the way, you've done such an incredible job since you took over running this fairground. I mean, you are amazing. I love the way you're involved in the community, and I've made that very clear. It's been a real partnership between the County of Orange, it was mentioned, the Veterans Community, and Heroes Hall at OC Fair and Event Center. Now, representing the Orange County Board of Supervisors, she was referred to earlier, and I happened to be at that fundraiser when we got this money started to get that building over there taken care of. Please welcome Vice Chair Michelle Steele.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have a long things to read here, but you know what? I'm going to just skip it because this is a Memorial Day that, you know, we are actually doing the right thing for our kids. You know what? They have to really learn where they are standing because of all these sacrifices, you know, from the people that who try to protect you. You know, my husband actually, my father-in-law flew, he was a hump pilot during the World War II, and now we are studying it, that how tough it was because it's old aircraft. He used to carry full tank of gas to deliver. That was his job. But you know, when your hump pilot tried to go China border of India side, the worst thing was the climate. So they got lots of people got killed, and my father-in-law actually got shot down 2 times, and both times his co-pilot got killed, and he was the only one survived. So now after the election next year, my husband and I decided to go where he really flew. You know what? We want our kids to know that, you know, what our ancestors and generations, that what they did for us. So I am so grateful at Nick. You know what? This museum, I saw lots of kids, they came and they studied that, you know, what we really did to protect them. But at the same time, we are moving this aircraft. I mean, you know, I cannot believe that we have a pilot sitting here, and I'm so, so grateful. You know, I can just say thank you, but I don't know if there's strong word than thank you that I can use it. But you know what? I don't. So I just want to appreciate you. Especially my both parents fled from North Korea, from the communism. And you know, they met in south part of Korea, and they got married. So, you know, without America's help, American soldiers who fought during the Korean War too, and I'm not here, and I was never born. So I am so grateful, and I'm grateful that what you guys do. I'm grateful that we have a museum, and I'm grateful that we are moving this aircraft out here so kids can see and they can learn, you know, what we are doing it here. Most of kids that they don't remember the history, they're always looking at their, you know, glued to their phones, and they're just moving forward. But this is the time that we should really teach our kids that looking back the history and why they are here with you. So I am so grateful, all the participants and all the volunteers, and I see a lot of faces all the times, include us. We're gonna work together because I am very grateful.
Thank you, Supervisor Steele, for giving me the honor of addressing the audience today. I wasn't on the agenda for the event, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Is there any greater evidence of the greatness of America than to have 2 immigrants fleeing communism now representing the 6th largest county in the U.S.? And for us to be able to contribute to the recognizing the sacrifices of our veterans of America in fighting for democracy and freedom and to have this museum and now the A-4 Skyhawk Memorial coming up. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It can't script this any better than that. For me, as a former Vietnamese refugee, I grew up with the A-4 and the maybe F-5, I believe, was the other fighter plane back then. My mom worked in Tan Son Nhat Airport, so I grew up seeing this my whole life and watching the sacrifices of both the American soldiers and Vietnamese soldiers on TV every day, growing up, body counts. I lived through the 68 Tet Offensive that Nick mentioned earlier. I remember, even as a 5-year-old, vividly, just how close it got, and the door-to-door, house-to-house combat that happened. And now living here as an American, I'm always reminded of that. America really, at the end of the day, we are the protector of human rights, democracy, and human dignity. That is a very powerful concept. That it isn't just about a political philosophy, but it's about helping people around the world to maintain their human dignity as a human being for their free and self-determination. Thank you. And that's what you have done, and you provide for the world. Thank you. Okay. Would you like Sherry to say anything? Okay. Sherry, would you like to say anything?
I just want to say freedom is not free, and thank you for the veterans who are here. Thanks to all of them, and God bless America. Thank you for having it here.
Nick and Ed, if you can come up here. First, I want to also thank Ed for all of his selfless sacrifices and commitment to the community, and always giving back and always being available to help us on these special occasions. Thank you, Ed, for being here. And on behalf of together with Vice Chair Michelle Steele and the Orange County Board of Supervisors, we would like to recognize you for your really just significant contribution to the history of Orange County and to our community here at Heroes Hall Veterans Museum. Okay. Here, come on in. Yeah, come in the middle.
Oh, Tim, thank you very much for your work on the hall. Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much. Supervisors, we appreciate you very much too. Now we're going to get into a number of presentations. There are a number of folks that have presentations to be made, and to call up, I think rather than call up everybody, Robert, you come up. You're the boss here. Up you come. Sandra, your vice. And Kathy. What we're going to do now, that a number of our elected officials and representatives have some presentations to be made. If you'd like to come up now and make the presentations, just introduce yourself and take care of business, because they will be happy to take the presentations from you. You want to hold it, or you want me to hold it for you?
Good morning, Stephen Choi, Assembly Member representing 68th District. I am so grateful. I come from, by the way, from South Korea originally, immigrant to this country. And some of you may have some connections to Korean War. We are so grateful for your service. And today, I'm so happy to present this as a recognition. Orange Fairground becomes Heroes Hall becomes the home for the A-4M Skyhawk, and celebrating together with you for the groundbreaking ceremony. Thank you.
I think let's take the congressional and we'll go in protocol. I don't want to go for it.
Oh, good morning, everyone. My name is Alexander Gonzalez. I'm a field representative with Congressman Harley Ruta's office. I used to drive by a A-4 every day when I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And it put into perspective the rich history and culture of the aviation community and the mission at hand. So I'm really excited to welcome an A4 here at home and to look at it and to remind myself of my service and the service of so many others. So with that said, I'd like to present the certificate to Heroes Hall and to the other organizers of this event and for this tremendous ceremony. Thank you very much.
Did you want to get a picture?
Yes. All right. Here we go. If you want to do the security, I'm sorry. Oh, sure.
Be sure to give a little bit of room here so we can get the photo right.
Okay.
There we go. Here, I'll take this.
Thank you.
I'm going to suggest that maybe Nick comes up here too. Come on, Nick. I'm playing staffer. I'll staff the staffer. Okay, one more picture.
Here we go. If you can't see me, I can't see you. There you are. All right. Nick, I don't think you have any problem with the camera, do you? There we go. There you go. Thank you.
Okay. So, did we have any other congressional representatives here? No. Okay, so State Senate. John Morlock's office? No.
No, actually, Senator Archuleta.
Oh, great.
Good morning, everyone. Kyle Miller with State Senator Bob Archuleta's office. Very happy to be here on behalf of the senator. The senator happens to be the chair of the Veterans and Military Senate Committee. So our office is always very happy to recognize and highlight any project like this or exhibit to come that tells the story of veterans and the sacrifices and the contributions and really the bravery that they give us every day. So on behalf of the 32nd Senate District and Senator Bob Archuleta, I want to just wish everybody great success with this project, and I know that it'll bring countless years of enjoyment for the Orange County community. Thank you.
Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Eric Wigan with Senator Bates's office. You can tell there's a lot of Republicans and Democrats here on representing us and the veterans community. So I think it's important to note that bipartisanship exists, and we support veterans and their sacrifices and educating our future generations of the sacrifices that those veterans made. So on behalf of Senator Bates, we greatly appreciate you inviting us and being here to honor this moment. Thank you.
You want to get a picture?
Here we go. Up here. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 3. Thank you. Thank you. I need to present this.
Hello, thank you so much for having us here today. I'm Allison Martin, and I'm here on behalf of Senator John Morlock, and he just asked me to let you know that he's so happy to see all of the great things that are going on here at the Veterans Center, and he wanted me to commend you for all of the hard work and effort that it's taken with the logistics and the planning to get the new plane here. We're very excited that it's going to be coming soon in November, so we'll be back then. Thank you.
I'm Assemblyman Bill Breaux. I represent South County. It's an honor to be here. Anytime veterans are being honored in the county, I'm happy to lend my support as an Army veteran myself. The only thing, Nick, I would ask is I was a Cobra mechanic. Can we maybe get a 68 model Cobra over here next time? One thing that the staff person for Senator Archuleta didn't mention is that you should know Senator Archuleta, Senator Umberg, and Assemblyman Breaux were all Army airborne, and we represent Orange County in the state capitol. Just a few of the veterans that are in the capitol, so anything we can do to support our veterans. I want to thank all the veterans for their service, your families for all your sacrifices. I was an early contributor. Nick asked me when it was first ground broke on the building. I gave some money, so I'm happy to support anything you guys do in the future, and please call on me.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Liz McNabb, and I am the district representative for Assemblywoman Kati Petrie Norris, and we would like to welcome you to the 74th Assembly District. We're so honored to join you today for this really momentous occasion. It's so wonderful in your community to get to come together and see the power of partnership that government organizations can provide. And these spaces are very important for our public life in order to understand the history that brought us to the present day and to really appreciate all of the sacrifices that have been made on behalf of these incredible veterans and their families. So on behalf of the Assemblywoman, Kati Petrie Norris, who is a member of the Assembly Veterans Committee, we would like to say congratulations and thank you to Heroes Hall. And Nick, it's always a pleasure working with you. And all the Fair Board, so many friends here in the board. So thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Johnson. I'm from Assemblyman Philip Chen's office. And, I don't know what else I can really add to what everybody else has been saying today. This is a great addition to, not only, Orange County, but to the fairgrounds and Heroes Hall. Both my dad and my uncle served in Vietnam. And correct me if I'm wrong, but my uncle was in the 1st Cavalry in the Army, and so he served along with the Marines down in Vietnam. So, he made a tremendous sacrifice, and so I know, everybody else did too. And, just like they said, freedom is not free. So thank you very much for all your guys' service. Thank you.
All done.
Okay, let's all come together. Here we go. One, y'all set? 1, 2, 3, and one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay, I missed a chance.
Member Choi is going to get his picture real quick.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you for that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Roxanne Chow. It's a great honor to be here on behalf of Assemblymember Tom Daly of the 69th Assembly District. What a great honor for me to be here. I was born and raised in Pleiku. That's where the American Air Base was. And so I've come in contact with many of our GIs in my childhood years. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's a true honor to be here among these heroes. You are veterans, the men and women in uniform. You are truly our heroes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon Urruti. I'm here with Assemblyman Tyler Deep. I just want to congratulate you guys on your guys' grand opening. Thank you to all the veterans who have made this possible. Thank you for everything. Thank you for having us here today.
We're kind of blending again. Can we kind of maybe move this way just a little bit? Or maybe you could move down just a little bit? Thank you. Yeah. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to invite Council members Andrea Marr and Arliss Reynolds to join me, and Mayor Pro Tem Stevens, and our city manager. Did she leave? Did she have to leave? Oh, she's back there. This is our new city manager, Lorianne Farrell Harrison. So we're going to close this out, and we really appreciate you all coming here today. As you can see, there's so much support for our veterans. And I want to also remind everyone something that our Assemblywoman did to bring $2.9 million to house homeless veterans. And I know Bobby McDonald was a big part of that, to pay for the first and last month's rent for our homeless veterans here in Orange County, of which there are 311. So we're going to continue to do that good work. This symbol here is a symbolic gesture to make sure that we all are present and keep in front of us the importance of our veterans. So Having said all that, a certificate of recognition we want to present. Where are you? You're behind us. To Heroes Hall Veterans Museum, Skyhawk aircraft groundbreaking ceremony. Heroes Hall takes flight. And we didn't even know that Nick was going to say that. We're excited to join in this historic groundbreaking event for the relocation of a Vietnam-era A-4M Skyhawk aircraft from the Santa Ana Civic Center to Heroes Hall. Thank you, Heroes Hall, for your tireless community work on this historic project. So thank you so much.